self-discipline. At the end of the day, you have to want it so much that you're willing to sacrifice other things that's not important.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Writing Inspirations with Markee Books. I'm your host, Dan Ricoberry, and here we have our guest for this week. Say hello to Ricky St. Julian. Hello, Ricky.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing great, Daniel. How about yourself?
I'm happy to hear that. So tell me, Ricky, when did you start your life as a writer?
Well, I first started writing years ago as an independent rapper when I was part of the music industry. I got away from the music industry and I started writing books. I published my first book in 2017. Yeah, I published my first book in 2017. The name of that book was titled The 48 Laws of Hustling. Don't Be a Statistic. I later came on and did a revised version, and I published that in 2019. So I've been writing ever since then, and published a lot more books after that.
How many books have you published till now?
Oh man, I almost lost count because I'm still working on them as they're being published. But as of today, I want to say it's about 13. I did different genres. I've done 2 self-help books. I've done a lot of urban fiction novels as well as 3 children's books. So if I'm correctly, I want to say up to date, I've published about 13 books.
Wow, that's actually impressive. Most people write like 2 or 3 books in a year.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people, they always say they want to write a book and they never get around to it. But one of the things that helped me is being able to have good time management, setting the time aside of my life, my busy schedule and everything, and dedicate certain times of the day where I just strictly towards writing. So that helps a lot to get a lot of work done.
That's actually sounds pretty impressive. So tell me, what made you take the decision to become a writer that time on 2019?
Well, when I first wrote my first book, like I say, it was titled The 48 Laws of Hustling, Don't Be a Statistic. I wrote that book in an attempt to help reduce recidivism with people going to prison. A lot of people in the urban community, they make a lot of mistakes, make a lot of bad decisions, which ends up leading them to become a statistic. I felt that me, myself, with a lot of experiences that I had, that I could possibly be an expert in certain knowledge and I could give it back to other people. So that's what made me write that first book. Now, that was my first self-help book. And as far as the other books, was the urban fiction novels. At that time, I was reading a lot of books in that genre. And to be honest with you, I just felt like I could do a better job. So that's what made me get into that genre and start writing books of that nature.
Okay. That's interesting. So when you were a teenager, before 2019, did you like write something before you properly publish?
To be honest, I had never wrote a book. It was actually a challenge something I just wanted to do. I was always, writing music. I spent a lot of time in the music studios in my earlier days. So I had experience with writing, when it came to lyrics and writing music. But I had never wrote a book up to that point. I just, I always like to challenge myself to do things that I've never done before, or just do things that I've always thought about doing and just taking action on those things. But up to that, I had never did it before.
Okay. So, what inspired you to start this path of life?
Like I said, I had a lot of experience as an independent rapper in the music industry. I just took a lot of that experience and changed it over to the book industry as an independent publisher. And I felt that, it would be a good idea just to go into a different direction at that time. And I've just been with it ever since then. It's been more lucrative than what I actually expected. And it's just hard, for me to stop at this point. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy the feedback. Very grateful for all the people who follow me. Very grateful for everybody. And that inspires me as well. When I hear people come back and say, hey, man, that was a great book. And another one of my books, my first urban fiction book, is titled "If These Walls Could Talk." Well, after that one, I came back with "If These Walls Could Talk 2." Then I came back with the trilogy. Then I came back with the fourth book. We're working on a process of making a fifth book right now. So that inspires me to keep going when I hear people come back and they say, man, that was a great book. When is the next one coming out? So I started to develop these series, instead of just doing one book and just leaving it on a shelf. I've created a habit to making a series of books to where people want to read the next one in. That inspires me a lot when people always come back and say, hey, I'm ready to hear the next book, man, or read the next book.
Okay, that's impressive. So tell me, how's your writing experience these days? How do you feel with yourself as a writer?
Man, I feel awesome, man. I feel great. I feel inspired by my own work sometimes, once it's complete and I look at it and I'll go back through and I read it and I go through the editing. I learn a lot from because sometimes I just zone out when I'm writing and man, I get back to it and I read my own book sometimes and I feel great. I feel inspired. It makes me want to just keep going.
Do you have an advice for those new writers starting right now?
Yes, my advice for any new writer is, when you don't feel motivated, just stay consistent. There'll be times, a lot of times, people have writer's block and they be like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know. Just do what you can. And at the same time, I know everybody have a busy life, a busy schedule and everything like that. But you have to have time management. You have to set off time to stay dedicated to your projects. And like I say, be times that you might not feel motivated, just stay consistent. And first thing you got to do is you have to start. A lot of times, new writers, they say, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that. And you never get down to it. But the first thing you have to do is start. I also would advise new writers to write you a chapter outline. Know how you want your work to end. Because when you know how you want it to end, you kind of know which direction that you're moving towards. Write your chapter outline and you just go back and fill in the blanks, and that always helps.
Tell me, what's the most difficult thing you have struggled with as a writer?
The most difficult thing, like I said, it would have to be time management. I have a busy schedule. I'm a business owner. I'm a father. So there's a lot of I'm a big advocate when it comes to fitness. There's a lot of different things that I do outside of writing. So the biggest challenge for me, I would have to say, would be time management. We only have 24 hours in a day, but a lot of people get more done with those 24 hours than others do. A lot of people spend many hours scrolling on social media, or doing whatever, watching Netflix, whatever it may be that's, not being prosperous. But for me, it's having that self-discipline to be able to put this time aside to do my writing. So that's the biggest challenge, but it's not a challenge that, I can't overcome or anybody else can't overcome if they face the same thing.
I can imagine this wasn't an overnight change for you. You probably have to experiment a lot before getting to this philosophy.
Oh yeah, experience is usually the best teaching sometimes.
Yeah.
Not always. Sometimes you can learn from others if you listen and you pay attention. But yeah, I've had a lot of sleepless nights. So yeah, it comes from experience.
Okay. Tell me, you mentioned it as an advice about the slums, but how do you particularly deal with that?
Self-discipline. At the end of the day, I can tell other people, I can tell new writers, older writers can tell me, they can give all the advice that they want. But at the end of the day, it's on the individual, it's on myself. You have to develop a self-discipline. And that's the best way to overcome any challenge. And you have to want it so much that you're willing to sacrifice other things that's not important. And the word sacrifice itself, it means giving up something for something that you want more. So for me, that's what it is, just staying self-disciplined at the end of the day, thinking about what it is that I want and putting aside everything that isn't going to push me in that direction or isn't adding to that value of the thing that I want. So It's all on you. It's all on me at the end of the day. Self discipline.
Okay. Tell me, were you inspired from other writers' work while making your books?
Oh man, definitely. I've read a lot of books, a lot of different authors who inspired me, and it's a lot. Yeah, I definitely was inspired by other authors, and there's different genres as far as like self help fiction books, as far as fiction books, Nora Roberts, John Grisham. Nonfiction books, it would be people like Napoleon Hill, Robert Kiyosaki. They have a lot of books, man. So when you go into any library and you see that the bookshelves and these particular authors, James Patterson, you go in the library, they have so many books. And, like I say, some people just want in their lifetime to complete one book. But when I see different authors like that and they have over 20, 30, 40 books published, it's inspiring. It's very motivational for me as an author.
So you mentioned it that you wrote many different genres or themes in your books, but which one is your favorite?
I would have to say self-help book because I'm an avid learner. I love to grow. I love to better myself. Every day I'm trying to be a better man than I was the day before. I'm actually in competition with myself. I see work that I've created, and so if somebody would ask me, "What was your best book?" I would tell them, "Hey, it's my next one." So I'm always self-help book is some books that I love to read, and I love to write them as well. So that would definitely be my favorite genre. I just love to grow and love to be a better person.
That sounds great. So tell me, Ricky, what's your current work right now?
Well, the book that I'm writing right now is titled "If These Walls Could Talk" Part Five. It's an urban fiction novel. It's part five of a series. I mean, if anybody watching this and you like urban fiction novels or you just like fiction, period, drama, anything, the title of the book is "If These Walls Could Talk." It's a series. You start with part one. There's part two. There's the trilogy. There's part four, and currently I'm working on part five of that. So yeah, we'll see how I'll see how this ends and see if I'm gonna continue it or not. But that's what I'm currently working on as far as books right now.
It's going to be finished soon.
Yes, I plan to be finished by August. Now, as far as when I will publish it, I'm not sure. That's a process in itself. That's getting a publication and everything together. But yeah,
Probably for holiday then.
yes, hopefully that would be awesome if I can finish it and get it out there by the holiday. Now, that's what I'm currently writing. Now, the last book that I just published was The 48 Laws of Confidence. Ricky St. Julian II, Don't Be Insecure. You can find this right now on Amazon. Also, the Audible version is on there as well. I know a lot of people don't like to read; they prefer to listen to books. So I have the Audible version for that available as well. That's the 48 Laws of Confidence. Don't be insecure.
Can you tell us a bit about that book?
Well, it's a book, to help people unlock their inner potential to be more confident. It's very good when your confidence can come from within rather than come from validation from other people. So inside of this book, you will see a lot of the laws and things that I share with people to become a more confident person. No matter what field of life you come from, what walk of life that you come from, whatever, who doesn't want to be more confident? It could be in sports, it could be in media, it can be in management, you can be somebody involved in public speaking. Inside of this book, there's a lot of things that I share just to help people be a lot more confident in whatever arena that they're working in or wherever they're living in. It could be, to get a date, whatever it is.
Okay, okay. So tell me, what are your plans for the future? Like for the rest of these years at least, to finish two books more?
I would love that. And sometimes, I just get an urge to write. Sometimes that with the books that I have published, some of them came unexpectedly. When I have an urge to write, I just start writing. So I might say that I plan for my future to publish a book every quarter if I can do that. But sometimes I do more. Outside of books, there's other things that I've been involved in as far as um, movies. I've been in a few movies lately. There's another movie that I just was in as a major character titled The Great Ego. It's going to be out. Plan for that to be out by the end of the year.
Oh,
So
you're also an actor?
yes, I'm also an actor. Also, not just book author, but also screenwriting. So I'm working on screenwriting as far as movies and TV series and things of that nature as well that I plan to get out there in the near future.
Wow, that's that sounds cool. So, are you planning to go to an event or a signing of your books?
So
Uh,
as far as book signings and everything like that go, when I first had started writing my books, like I say, the first one, the major one, 48 Laws of Hustling, Don't Be a Statistic, the revised edition, I published it in 2019. Well, right after that, I did a lot of book signings and COVID came. So that stopped like everything that I had scheduled for the time as with book signings. Since then, of course, the pandemic has died down and everything. I haven't been able to do any book signings lately, but after let's see, June 27th, we plan on getting a schedule to go do more book signings, and I can start doing more of that and go on a book tour. Now, to keep up with that, if anybody's watching, you can follow me on my Instagram. It's SilkG713, or I have another Instagram, Saint dot underscore publishing on Instagram. Or you just go to SilkG713 and you'll find my other Instagram page for my books. So if anybody's watching and want to stay, in tune with that as far as book tours and book signings, you can keep in touch right there. Also, by the way, you guys did one of my book covers for 48 Laws of Hustling. I want to see you guys put my book cover on your Instagram page because I didn't see it there, man. So see if you guys can get that done for me.
oh, okay, that's doable. Well, that was all for today in writing inspiration with Markee Books. Thank you for coming, Ricky. Let's hope we can meet again in maybe in some months after we can talk about your next book.
All right, definitely. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Well, see you soon. Bye.